Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. We're Mums and Melanin. My name's Takoni.
I'm Debbie.
I'm Ayoola. And I'm Tomo.
Guys, we have children from what? How old is the youngest here? 2?
8 months.
Oh, 8 months.
8 months.
Oh, Judah boy.
From 8 months to
14.
Yeah.
14. We're talking about nurseries, school experiences,
The good,
how's
the
it
bad,
been?
the ugly, the beautiful,
literally, like
all
whether it's
of
been
it.
helpful, unhelpful, babes. What's your experience? I know you've got loads of experience in terms of nurseries.
I mean, okay, so Makai's been to 2 nurseries. His first nursery, they were previously, what were they? So obviously you checked the Ofsted and all the rest of it. And I think it had, not unsatisfactory, what's the middle ground one?
Just good.
Satisfactory.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay.
No, satisfactory or good? Satisfactory.
Satisfactory and then good. And then outstanding.
Satisfactory. But then I went to go see it anyways, because when I speak to the lady, she basically said to me, the previous one was satisfactory and then it went to good by the time I went to go see her. So I was a bit like, obviously I spoke to the manager and said, what happened here? You know, obviously I can see off the report is improving, but why did it have the dip? Do you know what I mean? And she was like to me, basically when she started, it was under bad management, the staff weren't great, and so there was a dip because there was a high turnover previously and all the rest of it, but she's tried to like kind of, you know, turn things around since she started and all the rest of it. I was like, okay, cool. So we spoke about her goals, her aims, what she has done to move it. And obviously I can see the proof because Ofsted have come again and they've basically said essentially that it's improving. So she was saying to me that why they're short of excellent or whatever the top one is. Outstanding was, it was the time that they came. I think they had a few things that were coming in summer and all the rest of it. So by the next Ofsted visit, they should be at outstanding. The thing is with this lady, I really got along with her. Like I just bought into her as a person. She just, I don't know, sometimes when you just meet people,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? And this is the person who's managing the nursery. This is the person who essentially everyone answers to, and so you're running the space. So I need to kind of feel. I need to feel a connection with you. I need to feel like I can approach you if I don't like something, if I do like stuff. Do you know what I mean? And I just felt like she was very honest, very open, and she was very passionate. Great. So I was like, okay, cool. I definitely want to bring him here. And he was
I'm just like, that, great. I just know something's not great about that great.
I know, and I've seen a few nurseries. Obviously, you have to consider who's going to be dropping the kid to nursery, or you know what I mean? Like in terms of your commute, who's it easier for? Is it easier for both parents? If there's ever a situation, is it accessible for other carers to get to? Do you know what I mean? All that stuff. So some of the nurseries were very awkward. They had no parking, or their timing was just not long enough for me or my husband to get back from work to get him. So obviously that kind of limited our search a little bit. So it was this one and another one. The other one, to be honest, I think they were outstanding, but they just seemed, you know, when you get somewhere, you just feel like they're just doing a job. Like they just didn't care for the kids. And if I can see that when you're showing me around, you're meant to be putting your best foot forward. Yeah. So how much more if I'm not there? Do you know what I mean? It just kind of felt like the kids just do whatever. They kind of just felt like, we're here. We're working. I just didn't like the vibe. So I went for this one. Shortly, I think it was like 3 weeks in, Makai was 10 months when he started. Okay. 10 months because I had to go back to work, my new job. And basically, 3 weeks in, I think it was, the lady had to go back to her country. I can't remember where she was from, but she had to leave. And so she called me and she said, I'm so sorry, I have to leave, but I've interviewed this lady and I can vouch for her, she sounds great, all the rest of it. So obviously automatically I'm a bit, because I bought into her. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? The nursery seemed good as well. It was very spacious. The staff seemed great, but the management was a big thing for me. So she had to leave. So I was just like, okay, we had a conversation. She said she would set up a meeting with the new nursery manager and, you know, all the rest of it. Long and short, fast forward, I met the new manager.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Was she giving this treatment to all parents, or was it
just because you kind
of built a rapport with her?
I feel I kind of got extra special treatment personally. I think she did obviously let people know there's a new manager, but I don't know if she necessarily set up that meeting because obviously I'm new and I've kind of bought into you. She knew that. Yeah. So I think for her, it's, you know, courtesy almost. Like it's right for you to, because I've only had 3 weeks experience with you and I only just started. Do you know what I mean? And obviously everything's sort of changing. You've told me that it's because of bad management. Now management is changing. What does that mean? You know? So I think she kind of picked that up. So obviously we had the meeting, and I met with the new nursery manager. She was nice. She was really nice. She was telling me she has a grandson Makai's age, and she was like, she's just talking a lot about his stage and the kind of things that they do and don't do and all the rest of it. I think she was trying to show me that I can have confidence in her, essentially. Fine. So obviously I was like, okay, seems all right. We have to keep going unless there is a reason why I shouldn't. Okay, guys. So I think it was probably, initially it was fine. He was getting on fine. Makai was generally a very happy baby. So he was very, very, he loves to explore, very energetic, all the rest of it. But they seem, when I come to pick him up, they're like, oh, he's so energetic, or, he's so like, he's trying to climb this, climb that. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, but don't worry, Mum, we got this sorted, blah, blah, blah. Fine. I think it must have been probably 8 weeks or so later. This is when the incident started. Makai, no, literally, if he's not banging his head.
Incidents with
an S.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If it's not that Makai fell down. How did he fall down? He was climbing the bookshelf. Who was, how?
Where were you guys?
Because at home, he's not been banging his head. There's definitely a bookshelf at home. So are you not watching him? Obviously, when they're at that age, I think it's three toddlers or 3 babies to 1 carer, right? So I'm thinking, where were you? How did this happen? The first one was like, Mum, he was just climbing. As I went to go get him, he fell down. They're still a bit wobbly at this age, whatever. And you want to kind of give them a chance. You think they are wobbly, but okay, cool. Moving forward, from bumping his head, he was coming home with grazes on his head. He's still got a scar on his forehead from from one of his falls, one of his many falls. I think there was another one. He fell down and hit the corner of a table.
Yes. Oh no!
Oh my gosh! Yeah. What did they say? Wait, babe, stop that, stop. So when he's grazing his head and he banged the corner of a table, what are they saying to you?
So they were like, oh, Mum, his stability, he was obviously trying to walk. Because babies, it's true. As they're trying to walk, they kind of like run a little bit, they're a bit wobbly. But again, where's he off to? Why can't you preempt? Obviously, the nursery should be baby-proof. Yes. The baby room should be baby-proof. Yeah. Because babies are going to be wobbly. They're going to try and walk. This is normal stages, in fact. So if I know this, why don't you know this?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, why? I shouldn't have to tell you this. Yeah. So obviously for me, I'm already like, I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this. So I go to speak to the manager anyways, and she was like, no, do you know what? My grandson, she keeps going to this grandson.
It's not your grandson.
I'm
your grandson.
I'm paying you for this service. How do I talk about that? But whatever. She's like, I try and keep extra care on him. I go and look at him. Mum, I promise you, it was just a moment. He just fell. And I'm like, okay, but why is your nursery not baby-proof? Like, why is there a sharp enough table to hurt him? Do you know what I mean? It should have been a case where there's some type of some
like rubbers.
The rubbers
and not even that.
Move the table.
When you see a child like going towards something that's dangerous, you'll stop the child. You say, no, come back.
So these are my questions. Why obviously I want to understand how it happened. Obviously they always have a story. Yeah. This is this, that is that. As we went to grab him, he literally just fell. He lost balance, Mum, and blah blah. But we used the cold compress and whatever. He didn't cry. He was very very happy. And
that's not good enough.
Fine. So I can't remember, but I definitely dealt with that. I was obviously concerned about the fact that he's so young. He can't speak. He can't tell me, Mommy, this is what happened, and no one was there. He's so young. Yeah. So I sent an email. And I was just like, I am quite concerned about the fact that he's had 2 incidents now. It's only been X amount of months. And he is so young, and so obviously I think you need to keep extra kind of an extra eye on him, essentially, because he's so young, and it can't always be as we're about to, because essentially you're looking after my child. This is a childcare service, so I expect you to be able to preempt. Do you know what I mean? So let me know if there's gaps. Let me know how we can both work together to prevent
these things from
happening. Long and short, she was like, yeah, she's going to check in more. This is the manager. She said she's going to check in more. She said she's assigned. So they all have key workers. Yeah. She said because Makai likes to move around, he likes to explore. Some of the other babies can just sit and play with doll, whatever. So she was just like, the key worker is going to be more assigned to him, and then just have like 1 extra kid rather than having 3 kids or the rest of it. So I thought, okay, we're getting somewhere. You're trying. You know what I mean? Fine. So the next one was Sadiq went to go and get my husband. Sadiq went to go and get Makai from the nursery. And I remember he came home, I was cleaning the bathroom or something. So he brought him home and he was like, oh babe, you're going to be... I'm
scared. No.
You're going to be surprised when you see your son. He just shouted it. And I was like, why? He was like, yeah, just nothing, innit? Just when you come out. So obviously I finished what I was doing. I come out. Micaiah at the time, by the way, had a high top and like low sides.
How old was
he? He was just past 1, so he got this haircut for his first birthday. He would have been just maybe 1 and maybe 3 months or along those lines. So he's probably been at this nursery that probably makes it about 4 or 5 months. Probably about 5 months.
No, see, you're giving me anxiety.
Nervous.
I get to the living room and my son has cane rolls in his hair top.
No, I'm done.
Guys, 4 or 5 cane rolls, like cane rolls.
They plait his hair.
They plait his hair.
Huh?
Huh?
Are they allowed to do that?
Huh?
Exactly.
Exactly
Plait his
that.
hair.
I was so confused. I said, huh? I was like, wait, sorry. You know, like, I'm confused.
They plait his
My
hair.
husband, funny enough, Sadiq, he's laughing. He's like, yeah, babe, the cane rolled his hair. He's laughing. And I'm just thinking, wait, what's even funny? Like, I don't get it. Like, the cane rolled this boy's hair. He was like, yeah, that's how I picked him up. I said, what did you say? He was just like, I was just a bit shocked. So I was just like, oh, his hair came on. And then we were like, yeah, he's got such nice hair.
So?
And Sadiq laughed.
So?
Then Sadiq just laughed about it and left it. I think he wasn't sure how he wanted to do the situation.
That's how, if it was a girl now, you send him to nursery send her to nursery one hairstyle and come back with another. No,
Like,
that makes sense.
Sorry? Pardon?
They hair rolled his hair.
Guys, I was do you know they were so lucky that the nursery was closed by the time you put him home? Because I'm actually wearing my shoes when I come to the nursery. Like, what's going on here? I was fuming. I was so angry. By the way, this is a child that doesn't like his hair done. Even to comb his hair in the morning.
It's a struggle.
So I'm thinking, did you have to pin my child down to do 6 cane rolls, 5 or 6 cane rolls in his head? Because he doesn't like his hair being oiled and
I'm
just
sure
combed.
they probably did it when he was sleeping.
But why?
But this is it now. Is he a dolly?
Yeah. This is it.
I'm confused.
Obviously, my anger was so much here. Like, I speak to all the parents. This is why this was saying. And I was just like, guys, like, is it me? I need to know if it's me. Like, is this anger warranted? Because are they mad? Like, I don't understand. So anyways, I just said, you know what? I can't get to you right now because you've all gone home. So I decided to write an email. This email was long.
I can imagine.
Long.
I trust you.
It had everything in it. I said there's meant to be 3 to 1 children. I'm concerned for all the other children. I'm concerned that you've neglected 2 children in order to sit down and cane roll 1 child's hair. Also, you don't know my religious beliefs. You don't know my beliefs. What if I don't believe in my child's hair being cane rolled? Thirdly, my child doesn't even like his hair being touched or combed. Why and how has this happened? Do you know what I mean? There's so many questions. So many. Where was management? Why is this okay? Why do you think it's okay to do something to my child without my permission? And I said, if I wanted to take him to hairdressers, I would take him to hairdressers. Why is it that I brought my child to the nursery and he's come back with a new hairstyle? Was he crying? I'm not concerned for his well-being. I'm concerned for the well-being. Safeguarding. I mentioned everything, all the buzzwords I could think of. I'd mentioned everything. That email was long and it was something. Do you want tips, guys, for your email?
Listen.
I went in because for me it was just like some people for religious beliefs don't believe in that. I don't know if he was crying and you're just not going to tell me. I don't know if he was sleeping and like maybe you did do it when he's sleeping, but what about the other children? Do you know what I mean? There's just so many questions. I don't understand. If I can't send him to nursery and ask, by the way, whilst he's at nursery today, can you cane roll his hair? Then why do you think that I can send him to nursery and you can just do it for me? If it's unreasonable for me to send him and ask you to do that, it should be just as unreasonable for you to send him home like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously, I sent my email and first thing the next morning, I'm dropping him. Because of course,
I'm going
I was still charged and I needed to get it off my chest. Got to the nursery manager wasn't in yet. So I'm like, okay, so which one of you guys came on my child's hair? Like, how about we just start there? Obviously, everyone's like stuttering because I think they're not supposed to, you know, like if another child does something to your child, they're not supposed to give the child a name. It's the same way with the carers. They're not supposed to say who specifically did any specific thing. They're just supposed to say a staff member for safeguarding reasons or whatever. Anyway, so she was just like, you know, staff member. I'm like, yeah, who? She was like, oh, she's not here. I was like, well, do I know her? Because I'm thinking, all of you guys I know, you're telling me it's another staff member. Was she temp? Do I know her? They were like, you don't know her because she works short hours, but she's not temp. I said, okay, what's her name? They can't give out her name. I said, okay, don't worry. I'll be back later. Obviously, at this point, I don't even want to leave my child here. I'm going to be honest. I'm just thinking, it hasn't even been addressed. But the reality is, again, the job that I was working in at the time, I don't know if you guys have watched our previous video, but yeah, my manager wasn't the most understanding. So trying to take time off or coming in late because of your kid wasn't something I really wanted to go into with like the style of management I had at the time. So it was then, okay, well, I'm just going to have to go to work and leave him. So I left. I'm just uncomfortable, but I made it clear to everybody there, this should not have happened. I don't want anything happening to my child. I don't want his hair care rolled. I don't want his skin oiled with any new thing you want to try out. I just went in like, I don't want his ears pierced. I'm sure I was everything like this. It was just crazy, but the truth is, you made me believe that anything can happen. You made me believe that he could come home and maybe you pierce his ears. Maybe, who knows? You might decide that someone's a trained tattooist and decide to give him a little, I don't know, scar on his hand. I just felt like I have to cover everything. So anyways, I was calling into the nursery on my way to work because I was just thinking I need to speak to the manager. I spoke to the manager on the phone and she was just like, I'm so sorry. I have seen your email. I'm going to address it, but I've had to take it to management, to her manager because I've raised quite a large complaint with a lot of, keywords, with all the safeguarding stuff. A lot of keywords that she just has to, kind of speak to her management and see how they're going to come back to it, blah, blah. But she was like, just to assure you that I wasn't here and the staff member that I wasn't aware of this. I'm so sorry. But the staff member who was involved will be fully investigated and all the rest of it. Long and short, she came back with some long story how the lady, I think they said the lady was let go or whatever. They obviously didn't let me know who she was. So there's no way for me to really verify.
But that's really unfair. Because in a setting of a nursery, no one's on their own with a child.
Exactly.
So letting her go because she came. What happened to the other people that were watching while she came on in the hair? Couldn't they stop her? And then letting her go, that's not fair.
I questioned the training. I was like, if one person has decided to slip or kind of push the boat out, how come nobody else raised eyebrows?
Exactly.
At work, if someone's doing something that I think is unethical, I'm gonna be like,
you say
by
so.
the way, you might want to be careful with that. But nobody's saying
Or even take the hair out before he goes home. Do something. Do something. Like, what is that?
Because
of course. Of course. 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
But there's no point of doing what they're doing and then you're gonna let her go. That's just a bit.
But this is the thing. For you to let him go like that means you think it's okay. For all of you to think it's okay, again raises another concern. How come nobody's concerned?
He's got really nice hair.
And
maybe it's normal for them.
They probably all thought it was cute.
It's nothing. It's it's cute. Like,
it's wrong on so many levels. I started to look for new nurseries, obviously, because by this point I was just like, I don't think I can take this. The nurseries that were closer, they're now fully booked. They had no spaces in the baby room. And there was the other one that I said they just don't care about their job. And I'm like, it's like dealing with the lesser of two evils. Exactly. It was kind of like, okay, now I'm stuck. Then do I send him to a nursery closer to my workplace? I thought about that. But what if I'm off? I just don't, I don't like being limited because with children, you never know if someone else is going to get there. You need to make sure it's in an environment that if you can't be there, others can. So that for me was always, I didn't really like the whole close to work thing. I always wanted to be a central area near home other people can get to. I knew enough people in the area that if one can't get to him, another one can. Familiar faces, you know what I mean? All that stuff. So anyways, I had several meetings because the manager knew that by this point, like I even asked for the CCTV. I said, I want to see how my child was reacting. I want to see everything because I can't, you've made me lose faith in you. And anything you say to me, there's no way I'm really going to believe it because you sat down to do 4 cameras, I think it was like 5 on a baby's head. It wasn't even one big one. Like, I don't understand. That takes time. And they were neat. They weren't like, they were neat. I'm like, if somebody decides that childcare is not for them, fine, but why have they practiced hairdressing on my child? Why is my child the victim here? Guys, I went in. I was very upset. So obviously, because of this whole lack of nursery options, I kind of felt a bit stuck. So obviously, the people around me, the godparents, his dad, all of us, we're all talking like, what do we do? So it's like, do you know what? You spoke to the manager, let's see how they're going to deal with it. Let's give it a bit more time until maybe you can find alternative care. Because I still need alternative care. That's still a big problem. Without alternative care, do you know what I mean? My parents are all still working. I don't have, anyone that's sort of retired or, do you know what I mean, just readily available. And childcare has always been childminders have always been a thing that for some reason I just never have been keen on. And I think it's things like this. I can't ask for CCTV. There isn't any. It's just stuff like that.
And there's so many horror stories as well.
So many horror stories.
It's
so it's like if I've had a bad experience in a I don't know, government funded environment or whatever it's called. Do you know what I mean? Government regulated. I don't know what the term. How much more someone's house that no one can really verify? It's just you. Do you know what I mean? There's not other staff to say, oh no, I witnessed this or I didn't. So it was all of that dynamic. So in the time that we were looking for a new nursery, probably, I think they said there would be a new nursery. It was a few months later. They're like, because some kids would be moving into big school and all the rest of it. The shift that summer. you know, there should be more happening around that time, all the rest of it. So I'm trying to play the waiting game, but I've noticed they're obviously a lot more careful with him. They're like keeping me up to date with just the slightest of things, because you know these kids, they go to school with their little scratch that they did themselves overnight, and they ask you to be signing form, but he comes home with bruised cut. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, where are we going with
too
this?
much.
Anyways, guys, the last straw. Let's fast forward.
There's still
Wow,
more.
there's more.
There's one that had.
Oh no, I'm tired of this
Heightens, more than
nursery.
that.
I'm really tired of
The
them.
last straw where I just thought, yeah, no, this is like, if I don't take my child out, I don't care about my own child at this point. They sent me a message on like the family app that we had. It's called Family.
Yeah.
And they basically said, Mikai's had a fall. He fell off a bike or something. But he's fine. It was just a small graze and he's absolutely fine. He's playing. I called because after the kind of experience I've had with them, every time they send me something, I'm like on edge. So I called and she's like, no, he's fine. Like, you know, everyone's going to check on him. You know, I've been checking him. He's actually fine. He's playing. And it's just a little graze. I was like, is it bleeding? They're like, no, just a little bit graze. Fine.
Where?
On his forehead.
Oh.
Guys, I pick up my child from nursery and he's got dried blood on his forehead. Dried blood. So is that a graze? Can I ask you guys a question? What is a graze? Because when you tell me graze, you know sometimes you graze the skin, but it doesn't necessarily bleed out. A cut for me, if there's
Most
a patch
grazes
of dried
will
blood,
bleed though.
Graze, you know, like maybe it's me, but when I think about a graze, yeah, it's kind of like when
Very,
you
like,
just
just
scuff your skin,
yeah.
it may bleed slightly, but it's not enough to leave a patch of
Proper
dried
patch.
blood.
Oh.
That's the way I see a graze, right? So honestly, I think that's what I had in my mind.
That they didn't even attend to. Like, no cleaning, nothing.
I've picked him up. That means you either cleaning it and it kept bleeding, so you had to leave it to dry. Or do you know what I mean? There's so many, but there's dried blood on his head, in it. So this for me is more than just a graze, and it's like a big kind of circle.
Big,
it's a big circle. That's not a graze.
Like, it wasn't small.
But at this point, I think I even called in sick the next day because I just thought,
Yeah, too much.
I cannot send you to this nursery. This is like, where are we going with this?
And he was so young.
He was so young. He can't speak. He can't.
But this is the reason why so many parents are so worried about taking their children into nursery when they can't speak.
Exactly.
It's really difficult.
Because you take the risk of having to just go by what
they're telling you.
Tell you. Whether it's true or not, you have nothing else to go by. Anyway, so when I said, okay, I need to see, I think I went the next day, I said, I want to see what bike, I want to understand how it happened. This is becoming ridiculous.
Yeah.
Guys, my son was on this bike. It's a toy bike. He rode into a wall, a brick wall with a corner, and he slammed his head on the brick wall and fell off.
That's a head injury.
So they said that he fell off the bike
this is
and
a graze. This is what I was told. He fell off and it was a graze. He slammed his head into the corner of a
Do you know how
brick wall in the
concerning that
garden.
is?
Like,
Hello, he's never going back.
what? Go back where? Huh? Listen, I remember the 4 days I was sat in the hospital.
I'm so
and they were popping water. Excuse me, huh?
You went hospital?
No, he's taking me back to his birth. He's taking me back to everything. I'm just thinking, no.
It's too much.
Guys, obviously, the next day I just had to call in sick, and I just thought, do you know what? If he has to go to a nursery next to me, if I have to quit my job, whatever, like, my child
at this
comes
point,
first.
yeah.
Like, it's now too alarming for me to say, oh, maybe this. I'm not taking anything as an answer anymore. So they showed me the brick, and obviously I'm now thinking about the corner table. I'm just thinking about how many risks are in your nursery, and I was just like, sorry, but how? I don't understand. Like, your health and safety in this nursery doesn't seem to be something that you guys uphold. It's not important to you. It's not of enough importance.
Not a priority, yeah.
It's not a priority.
Yeah.
So she was like, I was like, where was the healthcare? Where was the one person that's apparently allocated to him? She was like, she was right behind him, but obviously he just fell off.
No, I'm done with
this whole thing about right behind.
you
You guys were nowhere to be seen. Stop lying. Nowhere to be seen.
Every time.
How fast can a small baby be going that every single time?
It's true. I was just behind.
No, you weren't.
Can you even ride the bike properly? Can you even ride the bike?
Moped, that's proper power, because like this, I don't understand. This is not just tiny little pedals that you can barely use. Bear in mind, it's like 1.5. Don't forget, like.
I'm so over these people.
So he rode into it, and so obviously he's using his legs because he can't ride a pedal bike. So he's like using his legs. I still don't understand how the pedals are here, the wheels usually in front. How has he now gone into the brick wall?
Probably just that's force.
CCTV, they don't have CCTV in the garden, of course, convenient. I asked them for a written statement. I want to understand how, guys, because it was just, you know, like, I can't, this boy has been living with me for how long? Like, since he obviously plays around, like, a nursery should be more baby-proofed, really, than even my house. I should have to go and be buying stuff.
And I feel like the way
you have multiple children, that's like your top priority.
Yeah, and the way they deal with incidences, they need to so when Sienna was at nursery, same thing, you know, like kids are playful, they have accidents and stuff. Anytime she hit her head, even if it was just, she bumped, it was written down, it was a paper,
this is the thing.
head injury. Head injuries are, you need to highlight them.
Exactly.
They're proper, even if it's a bump to her head, because you never know what could happen.
Exactly.
Now if that child starts vomiting,
this is it.
loses consciousness, what are you going to say? What are you going to say?
This is it. So my thing is the fact that you called it a graze.
Yeah.
You didn't call it head. You kind of downplayed it.
Yeah.
But if I put him to nursery like that, I'd be expected to explain the head injury.
Yeah.
Because then I'm sure they would have called it a head injury.
Yeah.
And that's when I just thought, this nursery's terrible. Oh my God.
terrible.
Oh my God.
That's actually scary.
Oh my God. And in all honesty, it doesn't matter how close your nursery is to you. If they've had inadequate or even satisfactory, even if they're good, I'm so sorry guys. If it's not outstanding. Personally, for me, I won't try again because I've been scarred. Now, there's probably some people who've gone to good and it's fine. They've gone to satisfactory or whatever and it's worked. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it's the facilities that's letting them down. But for me, even if your computer that don't work, it's just not enough. I can't because you've put that fear in me that unless it's outstanding, my child is in danger. Or my child is going to be a victim of cane rolls or an ear piercing or a nose piercing or I don't know, he might come in with a nose ring. I just can't be sure. That's how I started to feel. And thankfully, shortly after we were planning to move anyways, and I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to take time off, keep him at home, find a new nursery. I interviewed the new nurseries differently. Like the interview I felt like I gave them initially, this one was times 10. Because even if you're outstanding, I need to be sure that my child is safe. That's the reality. I need to, and I need to work. So I have to make sure that where I'm leaving him. Otherwise, the truth is, I was at a point where I was just like, if not, I'm staying at home. Basically. If I cannot find a place where I feel comfortable and confident, I'm staying at home because he's too young for all of this. And I know how Micaiah cries when he's injured. I just start to think about did they even look after him properly? Did they comfort him properly? You just start thinking about all sorts. Like
they said he's happy, he's smiling with the dried blood on his head.
Exactly. And
maybe they were just scared of your reaction, but being honest is better than anything.
So if you're concealing what really happened because of my reaction, again, I'm even more concerned because we'll do so much more conceal. Yeah. If I can't trust you, then essentially this whole relationship is broken, isn't it? There's no point of taking the service anymore.
But you know what? I just feel like nurseries, they be lying anyway.
They do.
Man.
No, they do.
That's how they tell you, they ate all their food but at home they don't eat this.
That's it.
And sometimes children do, like when they're around other kids, they do they eat and whatever. But nah, man, because when they come home and the first thing they say to you, hi, Papa, I want rice. That child did not eat in this nursery that you're saying they ate.
One thing I tell you.
Can I even top that? Sorry, At least yours is even, they told you he ate. I've got an app, right?
Yeah.
The app told me lasagna, little.
Yeah.
Potatoes,
yeah,
none.
we used to use the same app.
But when I pick him up, you say, he ate well, Mum. Sorry. I opened that. I said, sorry. No. What should we call her for the want of this video? Lily. It says he ate nothing. How come you just told? Because I have to make it clear to you that you obviously don't know and you're just giving me stories at the door. This is wrong. Yeah. And I have to pick you up immediately so I pay attention to stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And she was like, oh, sorry, Mum. I mean, when I was around, I'm like, no, I'm really concerned about the fact that there's inconsistencies in what you're telling me. Because if you don't pick up with these people, they will just chat. They'll just tell you what they think you want to hear.
Yeah.
Do you know it's mad because literally hearing this makes me feel like I was lucky. Like the nursery that the kids went to was a really good nursery. Like even the food that they had, they used to have jollof. Like
really,
they used to have everything. Like it was a very multicultural. Like the staff were mixed, from different cultures. Sometimes they had stuff that was like a bit more Turkish food. Sometimes they were African food, and we used the app as well. And they were consistent, and they were actually proper, like on point. Like if there was an accident, anything, I was always informed.
What was their Ofsted out of interest?
Do you know what? I can't remember.
But do you think it was
outstanding
or probably just...
I don't think it was outstanding. I think it was good. And the nursery was, I think maybe because the nursery was really small. So it was a nursery that had basically one big room that divided into two. So you had the under threes or under twos side and then the older ones.
It was very small.
Yeah, so it was a really small nursery. So when I got there, only because, so I chose it because it was next to my mum's house. And I went there, it was clean, like it was small, but then I thought, you know what, starting a child really young, why not start in a small nursery where there's not too many children? And Sienna she thrived in that type of like environment. And yeah, it was really, really good. They were on point. And you know, they would eat everything. Like, Azariah is a foodie. On her app, ×2.
But at least they're giving her extra.
Yeah, no, they used to give extra. Yeah, true.
That's why they're coming in asking for rice.
Yeah.
Because some like, I think even my nursery as well, there's a point I said to him, I think he's hungry. Yeah, bring him
more.
He obviously, every child eats differently, and you need to satisfy. They're babies. They're not going to be saying, "Oh." Sometimes they won't say they want more, but you can tell that when they go for another kid's plate, you can tell they're hungry.
Or if they finish their food and offer it, why not? If they've just finished it, why not?
How about that? It's not a favour. It's not like you're buying it's not some extra gourmet. I don't know, Gordon Ramsay meal. I'm sure you can make it some extra bit of rice and curry. That's really good.
Yeah, no. That's why I didn't think like.
I think
people have some nightmares,
and they were just one room, and I'm not gonna lie to you, that for me was a turn
put off. Yeah, for me it was a bit like, but I thought, you know what, she's small. She's only one because she started when she was one. I thought she's only one. Starting in a small environment with a small group of children might actually be a good thing rather than going right into a big nursery where there's loads of children.
It's funny because I think for me there was a baby room, there was a middle ground, so the ones that are not quite preschool, but they're 2 to 3. 2 to 3 room, and then there was a preschool room.
Okay.
So I felt like this looks so organised. Do you know what I mean? Like you split them up according to their needs and their age. Do you know what I mean? So it's so funny that you're saying what I initially found as a bit of a put off
was actually
offered better service, essentially.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I guess maybe because they could watch the children like not all at once, but they can see them like there was a gate, like proper partition for the younger ones. It was nice, man.
Were the staff young?
The staff, yeah, they were fairly young.
Were the staff young at the nursery?
They were young, but like they were definitely
even the
young.
manager was fairly young. Like she had an older child that was maybe like older than she was about 8 years old. But the manager was young. Like
I don't know. I think it's trial and error of nurseries, isn't it? Because it depends on who the actual individuals and how much they just go into or not go into care for your kid, isn't it?
That's the truth.
Like, I think it's the compassion that you feel there. Like you said, the other nursery that you went to see, that you didn't feel that compassion. It looked like just a service, innit? Like we're just doing whatever we're doing.
But now I wonder. But then it made me wonder
whether that's
would even been better there. Even though I didn't feel the compassion, maybe they're a bit more attentive to the children. Maybe, do you know what I mean? You just start to wonder. Funny enough, his new nursery, they are again like baby room, but they were like in Micaiah. I didn't even have to do settling from the first day, and he used to cry. There were sometimes he would cry going into old nursery, but sometimes he would just walk in, and I just think it's babies when you're leaving them in the morning, you know, like they want to stay with mummy or whatever. This one, I was there for the first day for I think 3 hours. The following day, he just it was good. And from then, honestly, they love him. Like everyone they send me pictures on the app, and I don't know. It's weird. This one, they didn't get outstanding just because what did she say it was? Something wasn't working, or one system they had to block down or something like that. And again, I was raising my eyebrow like, you people be giving stories. That's how you carry on my kids' hair. I'm not sure about. I kind of felt a bit. I thought, let me try it, and I must say, this nursery have been amazing on that front in terms of looking after him, in terms of his development. They're just like, oh, he's the star of the show. Every time he's moved up a class, they're like, I'm gonna miss Makai. Like he comes home talking about them all the time. Like when he's praying at night, I pray for Josie. It's so cute, and I just think
that's when you know that he's in a good place.
But I think there's pros and cons to every nursery because again here, the only thing I had with them was when it came to potty training or like, I don't think they were very proactive. I think I had to really push
it's not everything you can have, babe. Pick your
I'm paying
brand.
for it.
I know, but even when you pay, babe, even when you go to the fine dining restaurants and you pay your good monies, you may not get good service. It's never going to be a whole round.
When you don't get it, what happens? You can talk to them.
There's
an expectation.
You can talk to them.
I can't eat this because
you can talk to them, but the expectation that you're having, babe.
What's the point of spending £100 on steak if I'm not going to tell you that there's a problem with this?
But you're not always going to get what you think you're going to get. That's the point I'm trying to make. Like you kind of just have to pick your. All right, fine. You know what? The food was amazing. The service was a bit, dead. But at least
Babe, how much
The
of this
nursery
is
was
it?
great,
I'm not
but
sure.
they didn't really help me with the potty training. But okay, you know,
No,
he
do you
loves
know
it
why?
here.
Can
He's
I
happy.
tell
But
you?
they should though.
Yes,
I mean,
the reason I kept him in,
yeah.
like you said, is because he loves it here, he's happy, and he's definitely thriving. However, the problem is he spends more time at nursery 5 days a week from 8 to whenever than he's at home.
Yeah.
So technically, if you're almost making him derail because you're not keeping up what I'm doing, then he's gonna get confused and keep like relapsing in some ways. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So we have to work together.
Yeah.
Like, I can't say because you tick this box, you're okay on that box. Absolutely not.
Were they unhelpful? Like completely unhelpful?
So they were like, "Oh, mum, you know, we put his nappy on. We don't think it's ready. No, we are trying. We do take him to the toilet, but there's no way for me to verify that because every time he's coming home, he's having accidents. But from Friday to Sunday, no accident. Mikhail will like he'll walk or whatever to the toilet, or he'll be like holding his trousers. He does things to make it clear he wants to go to the toilet. There was a sound he used to make. It wasn't wee-wee, but it was something. And I think I even told them when he says this,
that's
you
what
know,
it means.
and please just take him every now and again as you would with a child to the toilet. But I think because they had nappies, I just don't think they were trying. So what I did, I went into the nursery one of the afternoons. I was like, I had a great weekend last week, last weekend, you know, no accidents, and I kept him like without anything. So I was like, oh, can I see how many more nappies you had left? I just want to see if you need a restock. I think they had like 10, and I just took them all. I said, actually, no need. I think he needs to move forward from there. That was my way. The Monday morning, I sent him in pants. I was like, hi guys, he had an amazing weekend. What's up? I said, he had an amazing weekend. I know he's ready. He's got pants on. So just make sure. I said, I've got only one spare of pants in there, but he was so good. I don't know if you're going to get
one spare.
Because we're not doing this.
Yeah.
I actually know, I can see that my child is ready.
Yeah.
I can see how he's developing. So it's either you're going to be lazy or you're going to be, because it's not him, it's you. And I felt like it was when I now did that, then suddenly there was no more accidents, there was no more we need a nappy. They were like, oh, he's amazing today, mum. And he only really ever had a sip up once when he was sleeping. He was even sleeping and waking up to wee. That's how good. But if I didn't take the nappies away, they'll be telling me when the nappies are dying down. And then basically a child is going to get confused. If you're letting him wee all day and then mummy's at home saying, no, wee, toilet. You know what I mean? We have to be consistent in our message. So whilst I agree that, I don't even know if I agree. I think this is your job. Like, you should be on your A game with all of it. I'm so sorry, but people expect me, my job, to tick every box when it comes to my job spec. So most definitely you too, especially when I'm telling you the whole weekend has been great. If I know he's not quite there yet, different case. But I'm telling you, if I left it in their hands, maybe now there's almost 4 of you using that.
I'm done with you.
Who knows? Who knows? I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
How's Amara finding nursery?
You know what? So I put her in what did I put her in? I put her in the nursery. Don't mind me. I put her in nursery. English is not my first language. I put her in nursery because initially I wanted to put her with Isaiah in his school nursery. There wasn't any space, so I thought, you know what? I can't have her home anymore. I'm tired. I can't do this.
And you're working from home.
Working from home is difficult. I think I remember telling you guys that she'll be talking in the camera. Everybody knows who Amara is at my workplace. It's long. So I put her in the nursery for the time being until the space became available.
She's how old now?
She's 2. So literally, as soon as she turned 2, started like beginning of Feb. Great. Yeah, so she's 2 now. So they were like, oh, Mom, can Amara have some milk and bananas? The first day I went there for her settling in. I was like, oh, Amara's never drunk milk a day in her life. She went from being breastfed to just eating solids, and she only has milk in her Weetabix. She doesn't actually drink milk. Okay. So they were like, okay, fine, you know, we'll try her with it, or we'll give her some water, whatever, fine. She doesn't eat bananas as well, like, she doesn't. She comes out like 10 minutes later, the lady, and she was like, oh yeah, Mum, she's drinking milk, she's even pouring it for herself. She didn't eat the banana though. I said, who? I was looking at who? Amara. Like, yeah. When she came, I said, come. Did you drink milk? Why? I drink milk. I was like, so you're just really here, just embarrassing me, making them think I've been talking rubbish. Fine. So she started, she's great, like she's doing well. My only issue, and I guess this is just my own little pet peeve, is like, are you feeding her? Because she's a very picky eater. My kids, like, they're very like, they like their staple food. They like their jollof rice. They like, you know, like my children, like, they eat well. So when they're giving her food, like, she doesn't eat potatoes. She doesn't. So like, oh yeah, like the app you said that we have is similar. What is it called? I can't remember.
There's loads of them.
There's so many different of these apps. So they give her these foods, but it'll be like she ate none. She ate none.
I have a problem with that because if a baby's eating none, surely
Exactly.
you should give them
Alternative or something.
Right. So I'm like, so there was the first day, they said that she ate none, and it was literally nothing,
And that was
nothing. I didn't get a phone call to say, oh, mum, she hasn't eaten. Can we try her with nothing?
Exactly.
So I had to be like, yeah. So when I went to go and pick her up, that's when she was like, Mum, I want rice. As soon as she saw me, I want rice. And then she was literally stressing me. As soon as we got home, if you saw the way I was Speedy Gonzalez to make that girl food, I was under pressure. Like, she was my Gordon Ramsay, like, where's your food? Where's your food? I'm coming, chef. I was under pressure. Fine. The next day now, I look at the app, starters, none. Like, again, I say, yeah, I'm not doing this. And still no phone call. Like, I feel like there should be something or an alternative or something.
Definitely.
I went to go and collect her. It's fine. It was 3:00. I went to go, hi, she hasn't eaten anything. Oh, no, Mum. She didn't really take anything. She didn't really want... But what we doing? What we doing about it? So the whole day. So if I didn't collect her, she'll always eat fruit. So the whole day now, if I don't collect her until 5:30, from 8:00 till 5:30, she hasn't eaten. And I give her Weetabix in the morning. I give her 2 Weetabix. Hold her down. So she can, slow release throughout the day. But it's gonna get to 1:00 now, and we have a routine at home already. And when I went to go and view the nursery, I asked them what their routine was, and it aligned with the routine I had. So I was like, okay, this is great. They had the same nap time that she had nap time. They had the same lunch time that she had lunch. So it was fine. It wasn't much of a transition in terms of her routine. Yeah. But to not eat the whole day, to now come and be waiting to see her mum to come feed, no, it's fine. I went to go and collect her, and I dealt with my daughter accordingly. The next day I sent her to nursery. I had the fruits for her, and I had I packed it for them. I said, please, if she doesn't eat, she will definitely eat this. I had some grapes, I had some orange, just some little snacks.
Do they not have fruits though?
But they did. They said, oh yeah, we've got fruits, we can give her. I was like, okay.
Or did they not ask you, oh, Amara's not eating the food we're giving her. What does she like? What can we give her?
They didn't. One day I actually said to the staff, I said, oh, Makai's not eating. It's just like, yeah, we're not allowed to force feed.
What?
No one's asking you to force feed.
Force feeding.
How about an alternative? It's something that if it was your child, you would it's easy. Most kids will nibble on bread happily. Do you know what I mean?
And it's not even force feeding, it's encouraging. Like, oh,
exactly.
Like, would you like to eat some? Oh, there's a way you deal with children.
Exactly.
If you leave a child to their own devices, they're gonna sit down, they'll play
toys,
with the food, they'll walk away. And they're hungry because you clear their plate, they'll come back looking for the food that you get. Do you know what I mean? So let's use our noggins when we're dealing with these children.
I don't know,
fine, like it's whatever. But anyway, she's starting at the new school. She's still very.
Wait,
she's moving, so she's only been there. This is her 2nd month, but she'll be moving at the end of this month.
Is she eating better now?
No, it's still some and little is what we get. There hasn't been none since those 2 days, but
Well, your child's hungry, basically.
This is it.
But then also I wonder if it's just adjusting. It's completely different. It's not food.
New environment. There's distractions around.
I factor in all of this. I do factor in all of this. And obviously I factor in how she comes out and how she goes in. Thus far, bearing in mind she only goes 3 days a week. She hasn't been like, oh no, I don't want to go or anything. She's always quite happy to walk in, and she's always quite happy when she comes out. So I'm like, okay, fine. And she knows she says bye to them. Amara, if she doesn't rock with you, she doesn't rock with you.
You'll know.
She's not gonna pretend. She's very much my child in that sense. Like, she'll just look at you one how and that's it. So she doesn't give anybody side eye. It's good. She's not going to be there for much longer. They've asked me to come and bring picture and to a family tree. I said, it's fine. I'm leaving her. It's fine.
School nursery. Oh, no.
Is she going to the school nursery?
So she's starting in the school nursery.
And that will be school dinners.
And that will be, So, but I feel like with the school, from what I've heard, like with other parents, if they don't eat what's given to them, they will try them with other stuff.
Yeah.
So, really? One of the school mums whose child is in the nursery, she was like, her son's really fussy. But when he doesn't eat, they'll take him aside, they'll give him like some fruit.
That's what they should do.
So this made me feel like, okay, this is what they should be doing.
This is not in a paid nursery setting.
It's paid. It's still paid. The nursery setting in the school is still paid.
Okay, you still pay for it?
Yeah, you still have to pay. You don't pay from reception onwards, but the nursery is still paid. It's not as expensive as the private nursery.
Up until 3 years.
But what do
you get government funded after 3.
Yeah, but even government funding, you still have to pay towards it.
If you want full time, it won't cover.
No, you get 30 hours.
Yeah, but 30 hours doesn't cover the full week.
Oh, maybe
They started 8 to 3. Yeah, it's 9 to 3.
The nursery is 7:30 to 5:30.
Oh, so this is private nursery.
So it's like a private nursery within the school, but it's a school nursery. Do you know what I mean?
That's why. Okay,
Yeah,
I get you.
Yeah, but it's still much better. Like what I'm paying for the 3 days at the private nursery will be the full week at the school nursery.
And they actually feed your child.
And they will feed my child correctly. And her brother is next door. And her brother's
so
very
nice.
much, where's my sister?
Yeah.
Oh, like, so.
These nurseries, I was thinking about a scenario, Roman. And obviously, I'm just thinking, not common sense is not common. my son, like, he eats and falls asleep, like, so he's
That's so cute.
He gets it from his mama.
When he was really young, he'd fall asleep mid-eating, do you know what I mean? And I remember him coming home hungry. And the thing is, he's a good eater, he likes food, he doesn't really mind. He's not like fussy, he doesn't mind. But he'd come home hungry. So then my mother-in-law was like to me one day, when he falls asleep, are they coming back to give him the food?
What's happening next?
So I was like, okay, when he falls asleep, when he wakes up, can you guys start feeding him? They were like, oh yeah, okay.
This is what I mean.
So what they were doing is just leaving him to sleep.
They'll take his food away.
And
then
then before he sleeps,
So when he wakes up and everyone's outside, he's missed lunchtime.
Oh no, you can't miss lunchtime.
Bad. So then after they started now giving him the lunch when he woke up, and then he wasn't hungry anymore.
But this is the thing, you shouldn't have to, because not every nursery has this app, right? And you don't necessarily know what's going on in the nursery. You shouldn't have to say these things. This should be, like you said, common sense, not common. It should make sense to you that a child is going to be on an empty stomach. Regardless how much they're playing, they haven't eaten. Do you know what I mean? Like, it should be something you bring up with the parents, you know, we're a bit concerned about his or her eating. I just think it's something that should be, it shouldn't be a thing where we have to bring it up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But in saying that, this is really random, but I've been binge watching The Shy.
Oh my god, this girl on The Shy.
I've been binge.
Any excuse to talk about this show, my god.
And basically, the girl was bunking off school. She bunked off school. So the parents came in because they hadn't seen her in a few days. So they went to the school. Oh, have you seen our daughter? And they're like, no, your daughter hasn't been in. She's been missing lessons. The parent was like, aren't you meant to tell us that? And she was just like, well, you're the parent. It's your job. So now I'm thinking the other way.
It's your job that what? That it's your job to
know
make
if
sure.
your child's not in school or not. Our child was bunking school.
But how? Okay.
I don't think that's.
I don't know if I agree with
I
that.
guess they have a duty to notify you, but also it's the parent's shame that the child's bunking school.
Yeah, shame and duty are two different things, you know.
Exactly.
So once I send my child to school, right? If my child doesn't make it to school, and you know that child should be in school, you need to call and be like, your child hasn't turned up to school. Why? I know Kiana's school. She can't, if she doesn't step foot 8:30, they'll call you, yeah.
Yeah, maybe America's different because here, if you're bunking, your parents find out.
They'll find out. Yes,
They do.
I just said Kiana's school. If she's not there,
Well,
they're
we went to school.
calling. They're
They
calling.
school and they don't tell your parents.
What do you mean? Yes, they did.
No, I don't think they did.
What do you
No, they
mean?
didn't.
What?
They didn't. In our days, they didn't.
You guys go to?
No, they didn't. They didn't.
They didn't tell our parents.
No.
Huh?
No.
Are you speaking from experience?
I mean, I didn't bunk here. I didn't bunk personally.
Don't lie.
My friends that were bunking.
No, you had your friends.
Their mum didn't know.
This person doesn't come to inform
No,
us
because
today.
guys, remember in schools, if your child's gonna be off sick, you're supposed to call, even if to report to the school, my child's gonna be off today, they're not feeling well. What?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if I.
But nowadays, definitely.
I didn't.
Definitely.
Why are you doing your eyes?
Because you get a fine.
You are a professional bunker. Why?
I feel like who you think you were in secondary school is not who you were.
Oh my god.
What?
That's a story for another day.
Hold on, wait a minute. What? I didn't bunk.
It's not today's problem.
I actually didn't bunk in secondary school.
Hold on.
I didn't bunk with you. I didn't bunk with you. I didn't bunk with you.
It's a general statement. Tell the truth. I said that example on the show to say that obviously, I guess as parents, we expect a lot from these people, but as parents, it's our job to be on their neck.
Sorry, but you're
It's
talking
our
about
job to
nursery
be on
now.
their
You're
neck.
talking about nursery
On the
now.
nursery's neck. It's our job to be on their neck.
But with your example, in relation to us having to ask the teachers if they're
Yeah.
eaten,
Yeah.
Yeah, I shouldn't need to do that.
Once they're in your care, you need to provide that. You need to be able to provide everything, whole rounded.
Yeah, that's fine. They've got duty of care. They've got all of that. But I'm saying that the way we ask extra questions and chase all of that, that's part of our role. To make sure to manage them. That's our role. To make sure they're doing what they're doing. We can still expect the high expectations, of course. But
it's not high.
No,
it's not high.
Nah, do you know what, T? I can't lie.
Because if they have an app and they tell you in the evening, Roman ate really well, and you have no proof of that. Is it not their responsibility?
No.
That means he's just going to be
No,
skinny.
that's a lie.
Well, concerned that he's been neglected. Because you know that's what I do. When you start learning No, I'll tell you about this. Let me tell you as well.
So, I brought my son to nursery half day, and I was, he was really hungry during snack time. I packed him snacks. He was really hungry. What did he have for lunch?
You see?
That's your business. Why are you asking me? I bought him half day. Why are you asking me what I gave him for lunch? Like,
You see?
That's true. Anyway,
if I bring him in and you can't speak much, if you're calling quickly, you'll call such a first. By the time I get there, all of us having a meeting about neglect. Am I lying? This thing is they're so particular about this thing. Even in the beginning of that first nursery, actually, rubbish nursery, they made me sign a form that if they're ever concerned, they have to call social care, whatever. Before they even call me.
Can I say I've never signed a form like that.
They told me that.
I will live with
Did you read the small print?
I read it because with my good eye.
I'm about disciplining. No, you can't smack your child on site. This is that. Okay, some parents.
Maybe they've had it before that they decided.
I think it's probably based on
experiences.
I got a form like that. They'll
But to get bruises though, like how hard are you hitting your child that you're gonna bruise them?
Some people
Okay.
Again, you know, think back to when I was younger, certain kids were getting bruises.
Yeah. She's a certain people. Certain children.
To be honest, my hue and my complexion, it's gonna take a lot to bruise me, babe. It's gonna.
No, some people bruise easily, like they get very skin.
I'm sorry.
No, you guys are out of control.
Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's chit chat. All around the block, but it's been a good one.
Yes, guys, make sure you're asking questions.
Yeah,
it's important.
Be on their necks,
advocate for your kids.
If you don't have an app for your nursery, write down these questions, some of the things we brought up, and please take it to your nursery. Find out if they're eating. If you notice your child keeps coming home
with bruises,
feeling a bit feeble, they're a bit of weight, guys. Do not wait for them to question you. Question them. It's true. And if you have any questions for us as well,
let us know.
Please, let us know. We'd love to answer. Alright guys, that was very insightful. We've obviously got stories for days. If you guys have stories, feel free to send them in. We want to know. Thanks a lot for watching, and that's it from us. Bye guys.